What's going on, Jerome's? Happy Wednesday. The Minnesota Vikings are looking to win the NFL draft just the way that the Vikings won a series against the Yankees. Face. Feels good to be good. ESPN NFL Nation did up their annual mock draft with all of their beat writers for various teams, making the selection, and we want to get into it. And for the Vikings, of course, Kevin Seifert, who is not Carl Gerbschmidt. Who's not. So we're going to fire this thing up and get into the selection. So first up, Carolina, David Newton, Bryce Young, Texans. So now, remember, this is who they think that the team is going to take rather than who they personally think that the team should take. Whatever. Texans, Stroud, Cardinals. Also, there's no trades in this draft. So Will Anderson. Yeah, I mean, if you can't move out, just get a legit elite pass rusher. Go do that. Colts taking Anthony Richardson. He put on a show at Lucas Oil Stadium during the Combine, and I feel like Richardson with Shane Steichen, who obviously did great things with Jalen Hurts as the Eagles OC last year. I think that there's a lot of overlap, and building an offense around what Richardson does well and eliminating what he doesn't and improving his mechanics, I mean, that makes all the sense in the world. 5 to the Seahawks. I mean, this is a fait accompli, isn't it? Jalen Carter, 5 to the Seahawks, just seems set in stone. 6, Tyree. So Tyree's got potential, and Tyree with Hutchinson and Houston, gross as a pass rush. The Raiders at 7. So they don't go Will Levis, but they take Christian Gonzalez. Gonzo, the pride of University of Oregon. The Falcons taking Spoon. I like this one a lot. So Spoon and Terrell as your outside corners. And also they have Mike Hughes and Jeff Okudah. Sure, why not? 9 are former Vikings amazing writer Cordy Cronin, now with the Bears. Skoronski, keeping the offensive lineman in Chicagoland. Now, I mean, Skoronski, it's sort of a thing with Northwestern offensive tackles, going back to Rashawn Slater, where they're extremely talented, but they got short arms, built more like a guard. Now, Slater's been doing phenomenal things when he hasn't been hurt with the Chargers, so maybe Skoronski has a chance to stick on the outside. Like you mentioned, maybe moving Braxton Jones to right tackle, keeping Tevin Jenkins inside a guard. Go ahead. 10. So Paris Johnson Jr. There's some hype that Paris Johnson could go stupid high in this draft, but Paris Johnson, the tackle from The Ohio State University, could probably kick him inside the guard for a year because he got Mulata and Lane Johnson, and then eventually replace Lane Johnson on the right side. The Tennessee Titans, so they do not go Will Levis in the spot, but they take JSN, Jackson Smith, and Jigba, first wide receiver off the board, getting him in the slot and working with Treylon Burks. It's pretty damn good. The Texans with their second pick, you can buy me Zay Flowers. That's right. So this one would be spicy. So Zay, second wide receiver off the board. I ain't mad at that, but it's about 10 picks before I thought he would go. But given that Stroud does have a nice deep ball, and given him a fantastic security blanket in Zay, work in the middle of the field as well as vertically, that does make sense there. 13, the Packers. Oh, I was told that the first round pick swap was going to get the Packers JSN. Nope. They take Dalton Kincaid, the guy that they would have had at 15 anyway. Whatever. 14, Bajan goes to the Patriots. Belichick marches to the beat of his own drum. Of course, he's got the rings to prove it. And going back to the running game, even though they do have a solid running back core with Stevenson, Bajan could be different. So there you go. 15, the Jets, Broderick Jones. That's Mekhi Becton Insurance. Got to protect old-ass Aaron Rodgers and his bird bones at this point. 16, Commies. I'm sort of surprised that they don't go Will Levis in the spot, but taking Darnell Wright, I love it. Putting him on the outside, working with Wiley as well as Sam Cosmi into that front. I love Sam Cosmi coming out of Texas, man. Pittsburgh, Joey Porter Jr., yes. I mean, the homecoming story, it's too good. It's too good, man. Also, the Steelers have a need at cornerback, plus they missed out on the run offensive tackle, so there you go. 18, the Lions taking Kalijah Kancey. So they get Tyree Wilson and Kalijah Kancey. That front seven is going to be legit, man. 19, mercifully, Will Levis comes off the board. I mean, they lost Tom Brady. You got Baker, and you got Kyle Trask. Nope, ain't going to happen. 20, Nolan Smith goes Seattle. That's messed up. Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith. That's pretty damn good. Michael Mayer goes to the Chargers. The Ravens take Deonte Banks. Vikings probably would have taken Deonte Banks at 23, but at 23, Vikings Kevin Seifert Kevin Seifert, who is not Carl Gerbschmidt, go with Emmanuel Forbes, cornerback, the Mississippi State University. We need more Cabo. This is what they said. In this scenario, with 4 cornerbacks already taken, the Vikings would do everything they could to trade out of this pick. It's possible they would want Tennessee quarterback Hendon Hooker here, but if they have to make a selection, they'll most likely look to fill their gaping roster hole. At cornerback, Forbes might not be a natural press corner, but defensive coordinator Brian Flores would make it work. And there are a number of receivers still on the board. Quentin Johnston is there. Addison is there. Will McDonald would certainly be intriguing. Brian Bruzzi, yes. Van Ness took a bit of a tumble in this draft. He's widely seen as like a top half of the first round pick, and Edibare coming in for Northwestern sneaks into the first round. Miles Murphy also took a bit of a draft day tumble as well. But the Vikings at 23, I wouldn't necessarily be mad at it because I do like Emmanuel Forbes. He certainly has that dog in him, and even though, yes, there is some concern about his size, that's the easiest thing to add in the National Football League. And remember, he still is relatively young, just turned 22, and he is a ball hawk. I mean, he has 14 interceptions, and he took 6 back to the house, including 3 last season. He was a consensus All-American this year, and he's just got that feistiness because even though he's 166 pounds, he does have height, he does have length, he does have man coverage skills on the outside. I wouldn't say that he's a press man per se, but most of his interceptions, actually I think all of his pick sixes came in man coverage if I remember right. He's also very feisty and competitive in contested catch spots. He doesn't let his weight get in the way. He's a little bit of a gambler, hence why he's come up with some of those big-time catches, but also he's given up a number of touchdowns as well. Good balls, great ball skills, good instincts as well. Not a great tackler. That's the drawback. I mean, there's a lot of really good tackling cornerbacks in this class. Forbes, I wouldn't say that he's bad per se. I would say that he's average, and also if you add 15, 20 pounds of muscle onto him, maybe that suddenly improves. But I mean, overall, if the Vikings do go Emmanuel Forbes in the draft at 23, and if this is how the board breaks down, I wouldn't necessarily be mad at it. I would understand Hendon Hooker at 23. I would understand one of the other 2 wide receivers at 23. I would understand Luke Van Ness at 23 as well, or Miles Murphy, or Will McDonald, or potentially trading down. Of course, there wasn't trades in this draft, but overall, Kevin Seifert, who's not Carl Gerbschmidt, you did okay. You did pretty good. But your thoughts are thoughts. The Vikings go with Emmanuel Forbes in ESPN's NFL Nation annual mock draft. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. We'll support the work. Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.